What's up, everybody? Adam, Hill Vending here for an episode of Vend Talk with a special guest, Yang, co-founder of Micro-Mart. Thanks for coming on. Day 2 of NAMA has just wrapped up, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of coolers out there, so I wanted to bring one of the pioneers in the smart cooler kind of industry in to get some perspective, some high level. So, yeah, 20 plus coolers here. There's a lot of competition going on. Just high level, what are you seeing or what are you noticing from when you're walking around? Is there anything that's stuck out so far?
First of all, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's crazy because we actually launched at NAMA 3 years ago.
Right.
So this is our third NAMA. The first NAMA, nobody knew what a smart store was.
Right.
The questions we were getting was like, does this work?
Yeah.
Do I trust it? This year, that was not the question. It was more like, how is this different than this? How is this different than that? So we're seeing, and this morning when I did a talk, I asked the audience, like, how many people are using a smart store? How many people are using a micro-mart? And half the room literally put up their hand. So it was just amazing to see how far this industry had come.
Right.
And of course, with the growth of the industry and the opportunity, we're seeing a lot more competition, a lot more players coming in from different places, most of them from China, actually, where the market is more mature because they started a few years behind, we're a few years behind.
Right.
But I think it's because of the opportunity, everything is growing. We're seeing this growth in the industry. So it's exciting.
I got it. Yeah. And I do have to say, obviously, from seeing you, initially, now you're iterating, right? You're adding new additions. I see some of these companies, I won't name any names, legacy vending, let's say, and they're selling kind of similar products from years ago, right? So you have these new iterations. This year, you just introduced the cassette cartridge, I guess, removable deck feature, a bigger capacity. So that's great to see that you're continuing to be on that cutting edge. Is that something that you pride yourself in the company, in the culture, or?
I guess we kind of got lucky in some ways because we were operators ourselves.
Okay.
When we first started this during COVID, we were running a fresh food vending business trying to sell sandwiches and salads for $15 in vending. And that was really hard, but we learned how to sell fresh food in a vending machine. You needed, price tags so that we can actually launch promotions when something's about to go bad. We needed digital displays to actually tell the story about the meal that someone's going to have. Because who's going to buy like a $15 meal? There needed to be narrative. There needed to be the human element behind it to actually drive the perceived value. Right. So these things we learned early on, and then we kind of translated them into product features in what you see today in Micro-Mart. But, our culture has always been first principles thinking, trying to build what is the best experience for the operator and also for the consumer. But then how do you continue to innovate, continue to push the envelope forward? We've never looked at things from like, okay, what's that company doing? What's that company doing? And trying to, copy them. I think in some ways the industry has been looking at what we've been doing. Last year, I didn't see any digital displays on any of these smart coolers. Look around today. Yeah. Like most people have some form of digital displays. Some people have some, digital price tags. Right. So I think in time, people are just going to converge to what is ideal in some ways. But that's, hardware is just the basics of what makes a great experience. Right. Like if you think about why Apple succeeded and BlackBerry didn't, it's because Apple had a rich ecosystem of apps. Mm-hmm. They had lots of value added applications
and the user interface.
But they brought out what's best in the hardware. And I think, if anything, that's where the industry is going to be going, is bringing out the best in this hardware. So it's not just about having a digital display.
Just the cooler, right? But if having the back end, to your point, right?
Yeah, it's about having the best experience so that you can create applications on that display so that, if somebody opens the door, the display changes.
And to speak to that, I would say if you guys haven't, go to Micro-Mart's website. The way the streamline, the information is presented is in a clean, organized manner. Some of these sites, it's a mess, right? There's stuff, where do I click? Where do I go? The way it's laid out and simple, you can tell, right? So when you're talking about the machines, it's all seamless and goes together. So that's awesome. And now I hear some news. Some news has come out that Vend Guys is entering the mix. Can you tell me what's going on with Micromart and Vend Guys.
Yeah, we've never worked with a reseller, and they're unlike others, our go to market has always been direct.
Right.
People buy from Micromart, and the reason for that is we wanted to make the experience seamless every time. Like we want
Control it almost. Yeah.
control it in a sense that there were a lot of people that were doing things that were not so good,
Right.
and we didn't want Micromart's brand to be associated
Sure.
to that. I've come to know Vend Guys and Charlie, and he's a great guy. Clearly has a great following. Clearly has a lot of customers that respect him.
Right.
So it was something that I wanted to do is enable resellers that I can align myself with, our company can align ourselves with, and carry out the mission that we have, which is to empower entrepreneurs, help operators succeed, and not just any vending operator, but like the new age smart store operators. And I think Vend Guys is doing a great job at that. And yeah,
Awesome.
it's
So is this an exclude like Vend Guys only? Your only distributor in America?
as of now, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. Great. So Vend Guys has an exclusive relationship. That's pretty cool with you guys. And that shows, yeah, the trust that you have to put that in Vend Guys means you've vetted and done some research. Now, okay, so the new version is Gen 5. Is that what we're calling the new cooler that's just come out? There's Gen 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Should people be worried about buying Gen 4 and not Gen 5? Or what's the people still can buy Gen 4s, correct? Are they still being produced or
Yeah. So, we never put out a bad machine.
right?
Like every machine we put out was high quality.
Okay.
And that was our standard. So Gen 4 is one of the best machines on the market. And it still is one of the best machines on the market. Gen 5 optimized it. The things that we worked on, because we heard it over and over again, is, the price point was a little high.
Okay.
It took a little longer to pay it back. And so we really worked on that. And we recognized that certain, because things were made in North America, we couldn't compete on manufacturing with certain manufacturers that are coming out of China. But we can compete on making sure that these machines had the highest conversion rate so the operators make the most money. So that's the thing that we kept, which is digital display, the dynamic pricing, our seamless backend, more rich applications that continue to drive more sales. So promotions and a lot of other features that we
Right,
have in the
right.
works. So all those things are staying. But what we did was, we used an also high quality manufacturer that was in North America, but they had a cheaper, I would say more, less expensive base cabinet. The minus 40 cabinets were great, and they're really designed for sort of heavy duty use cases. So they last a long time. They were great. The new one that we're using is slightly less heavy, less materials. We were able to shave off some costs around the hardware, but all the features are still there, right? So I don't know. Going back to your question, are we still making them? Yes, we're still making the Gen 4s,
Okay.
especially the freezers. So we're still making that through our existing manufacturer, but we're adding a new manufacturer onto the mix, the Gen 5s, which is our future generations. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, definitely appreciate your time. I know you're busy running around the show. So guys, if you're interested, micromart.com, you can check them out through Vend Guys. I'll put some links down below, obviously, for you guys to check out, and we'll go from there. But thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll see you in the next episode.